During a raid on a tiny boat traveling from Iran to Yemen, the British Navy found anti-tank missiles and fins for ballistic missile components. Authorities reported on March 2 that the British Navy recovered anti-tank missiles and fins for ballistic missile components during a search on a tiny boat traveling from Iran to Yemen, the latest such capture in the Gulf of Oman. The Royal Navy's detention follows several seizures in the region by French and U.S. forces as Western nations intensify pressure on Iran, which is currently enriching uranium closer to weapons-grade levels than ever before. It also comes at a time when regional and international forces are attempting to settle the years-long conflict gripping Yemen, the Arab world's poorest country. And Iran is arming Russia in its conflict with Ukraine. According to the British Defense Ministry, the raid took place on February 23 after an American aircraft detected a small motorboat carrying cargo covered by a gray tarp heading from Iran, with a helicopter from the Royal Navy frigate HMS Lancaster chasing the vessel as it ignored being hailed by radio. The boat attempted to re-enter Iranian territorial waters but was halted. British soldiers discovered Russian 9M133 Kornet anti-tank guided missiles, known in Iran as daly, inside the boat, according to the U.S. Navy's Mideast-based Fifth Fleet and the British Navy. These weapons have been seen in prior seizures thought to be from Iran and headed for Yemen. Little fins on board were also recognized as jet vanes for medium-range ballistic missiles by the U.S. Navy. There were also what the Navy called impact sensor coverings, which put on the tips of those missiles. While the Brits did not say where they thought the weapons would end up, the U.S. Navy said the seizure occurred along a corridor traditionally utilized to transit weapons illegally to Yemen. Iranian components have contributed to the development of a missile arsenal for Yemen's Houthi rebels, who have occupied the country's capital, Sana'a, since 2014. A United Nations resolution prohibits arms deliveries to Yemen's Houthi rebels, who are backed by Iran. Despite tangible proof, several seizures, and experts tracing the weapons back to Iran, Tehran has consistently denied arming the insurgents. This seizure by HMS Lancaster, as well as the Royal Navy's persistent presence in the Gulf area, demonstrates our commitment to upholding international law and combating behavior that undermines peace and security throughout the world, British Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said. Vice ADM Brad Cooper, the commander of the American Fifth Fleet, stated in a statement that this was the seventh unlawful weapon or drug interception in the last 3 months and yet another evidence of Iran's expanding harmful maritime operations across the area. During that period, the Navy and its partners captured more than 5,000 guns, 1.6 million rounds of ammunition, 30 anti-tank missiles, and other weapon components, according to the Navy. The seizure was not immediately acknowledged by Iranian official media. The Iranian delegation to the United Nations did not reply quickly to a request for comment. Yemen's war has mostly devolved into a stalemate, resulting in one of the world's greatest humanitarian disasters. According to the Yemen Data Project, no Saudi-led airstrikes have been documented in Yemen since the kingdom declared a ceasefire at the end of March 2022. Despite international efforts to prolong it, the ceasefire ended in October. This has raised concerns that the war would re-escalate. Throughout the battle in Yemen, more than 150,000 people have been murdered, including around 14,500 civilians.